So good evening all. Welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Welcome to DTRS session wherein we discuss 10 MCQs which are in news from the perspective of current affairs. So although prelims is approaching, still UPSC has a knack of asking the most recent current affairs also. So we'll be discussing those current affairs which are in news in the last 2-3 days. So we'll start with our discussion straight away. Before that, there's an announcement that our Panchasutra series is live and the third test, Panchasutra third test would be conducted on 18th of May in 2 shifts. So try to register and get your pass keys and do appear for this test, because most of the questions that we frame in the Panchasutra series have direct bearance on the way questions have been asked in the previous UPSC prelims examinations. So try to enroll, and this test is absolutely free. So make sure that you attempt the test in a classroom environment. So in this series we always discuss one quote by famous person. So this time we'll be discussing one of the famous person, that is Daniel Kahneman. So who was this Daniel Kahneman? He was Nobel Prize winner, economics, 2002. So recently he has passed away in March 2024. So why was he famous? Because he gave a new theory in decision making, and that theory was prospect theory. So he was not just an economist but also a psychologist. So he gave a beautiful theory that changed the perspective of, the way we take decisions. It gave a theory wherein it said that people do not only look for the utility or the monetary aspects, rather it all depends on the context as well as how the decisions would have bearing on their personal life. So one of the quote that has been given by Daniel Kahneman was, a person who has not made peace with his losses is likely to accept gambles that would be unacceptable to him otherwise. So this, although would seem that he is talking about, from economic perspective, but this particular saying that if the person has not made peace with his losses, so if any person feels that he is not ready to admit his losses or his failure, then he would try to keep on mounting further rounds of losses, and that losses could be monetary, or that could be even life based decisions. Suppose if I take a call wherein a person is into gambling from the perspective of winning. Suppose he is trying to win massive amount by purchasing lotteries, and he keeps on purchasing lotteries and of no success. What would happen? That he'll try to keep on his losses, increasing his losses without thinking that he has made losses in the past, and that should push him to move out of this decision, but still his decision being irrational. And because of his irrational decision making, this purchase or frequent purchase of lottery becomes addictive, or it becomes a source of addiction. The same goes for decision in any aspect. Suppose you're going for civil services examinations, and last year if you had attempted 90 questions and you were not selected, and you tried to figure out the faults, and you found out that your hits were good but at the same time you misses. The way you tried to guess in the questions were too much. It was too much of a wild guessing. So what would happen that in the next prelims examination, if suppose you are not ready to make peace with the losses that you had suffered in the earlier prelims exam and you try to commit the same error by increasing this to 92, then what would happen, that you would be again further, you can say you would be increasing your risk rather than having a just and rational thinking of thinking that this decision or this way of working did not suit you and you should try to bring it down. And it can have multiple options. It can be related with, you can say, purchasing an asset, even you can connect it with many of the social decisions. Suppose you try to bank on other people, like you try to believe on facts, and those facts are found out to be fake, but you trying to justify your effort, you just try to justify your effort, or you try to irrelevantly rationalize your decision or rationalize your choice, you keep on committing error again and again and keeps on mounting. In the same way you are accepting gambling again and again, rather than, you can say, keeping you can say peace of mind about what you have taken decisions that could not be fruitful, and you should be rational enough to ponder upon your decisions. So this was all about Daniel Kahneman theory or his quotation. So it can have multiple analogy. So again we will move to the questions. So here the topics today will be covering from different, it would be places in news, it could be, the lead topic is Maillard reaction, wherein we'll see some of the top concepts of science and technology also coming into picture. So the first question is, which of the following is correct about the term Maillard reaction recently seen in the news? So it talks about one of the concept that is more related with science and technology, specifically chemical reaction. So it is a form of non-enzymatic browning of food, which means that color change occurs without the activity of enzyme. B says it is one of the most financially damaging online crimes known as email account compromise. The third statement of the C is it is a technique where attackers use deceptive emails or messages to trick individuals into revealing sensitive information. And the D is it is a malicious software that encrypts a victim's data and demands a ransom for its decryption, often causing significant data loss and financial damage. So based on the options that is given, A is the correct answer. So it is a kind of a non-enzymatic reaction. So what does it mean? That browning can be of two types. It could be due to oxidation and action of enzymes, or it could be due to Maillard reaction, wherein the enzymes do not have any role to play, rather it is other aspects like heating. Suppose the browning of bread happens if it is baked, it's all about the action of heat on the upper coating of the bread that turns it brown, rather than any enzymatic or any oxidation reaction. So that was all about Maillard reaction. So this is the Maillard reaction. If you see, if you try to bake things, the upper layer turns brown. It is not because of any oxidation reaction, rather it's all about the non-enzymatic, you can say, reaction that is taking place because of other additional changes in the atmosphere or the environment. That could be heat, that could be pressure, that could be any other thing, rather than any specific chemical reaction. So the second question is, recently the Sivakasi region, which was mentioned in the news, is famous for which of the following reasons? So it is a very simple question, Sivakasi. From our childhood that we know that all the crackers, matchboxes, if you try to see the manufacturing, most of them are manufactured in Sivakasi, that is in Tamil Nadu. So it is known for its firecrackers, matchbox and printing industries. So the rest all three statements are irrelevant. So A is the correct answer. So the third question is, it's all about the mining region. So statement 1 says, the Kotia Hills are famous for largest bauxite deposit reserves region in India. This statement is incorrect because it is Panchampally in Odisha, and bauxite is an ore for aluminium. So although Kotia Hills is one of the largest but not the largest, it is Panchampally in the Koraput district of Odisha. So this becomes incorrect. So you can straight away mark the correct answer because it would be D, all because if statement 1 becomes incorrect, D must have to be, or the second statement must have to be correct. Still we'll see the second statement. It says that the Kotia Hills are a disputed region between Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. This is a correct statement. So D is the correct answer. So the fourth question is, consider the following. First we'll see the command statement. The command statement is, how many of the utilities mentioned above are the main purposes of AlphaFold? So this has been launched by Google, the third version. So it's a kind of, you can say, it's based on large language model, and it's kind of a generative artificial intelligence, generative AI, wherein it tries to give information based on the training, on the data set on which it has been imparted with. So it says that AlphaFold is all about unfolding of proteins. And why is it important? What is the meaning of that unfolding of protein? So if we see, the protein is the primary building block of life. If I say cell is the primary block, but it is, you can say, functional unit, is the primary functional unit. So any metabolism that is happening, any biochemical reaction in any species, living species that is happening, it's all because of protein action of protein. And whenever we talk about structure of protein, protein has, you can say, it is manufactured in the cell by ribosomes. But ribosomes manufactures it in linear form, in a line structure. But protein, if they need to be biologically active, if you need to collaborate or contribute to any metabolic activity, they try to create, or you can say transform themselves into 3D structures, and those structures are secondary structures, tertiary and quaternary structures. So because of these, if you see coagulation of egg, it's all about the transformation of the protein structure from one form to another form. In the same manner, if we try to know about the spike proteins, how to create those drugs which can bind to those receptor sites, it's all about knowing the unfolding of protein so as to you can study it comprehensively, and that is why artificial intelligence comes into picture, and alpha fold 3 is all dedicated with that particular aspect specific to unfolding of protein and protein structure prediction. So if we see the options, it is talking about the main purposes. So whenever we talk about main purposes, it is all about drug discovery, because if we try to create drugs, we need to know about the protein structure. And second is protein structure prediction. Image recognition, natural language processing are generalized features of generative AI, not purposes of specific generative AI in that particular domain. So only first and second are correct. So first and second are correct. So B is the correct answer. So it's all about the Padma Award. So UPSC tries to ask questions from, you can say, unconventional topics like Padma Awards, even the sports related information, missiles technology. So with reference to the Padma Award, consider the following statements. Padma Awards were instituted in the year 1954. This is factually correct. All nominations received for Padma Awards are placed before the Padma Award Committee, which is constituted by the President every year. This is not by the President, rather it is by the Prime Minister of the country. So it becomes an incorrect statement. All government servants are not eligible for these awards. So although all government servants and those people who are working in public sector enterprises are not actually considered for these or not eligible for these awards, but there are exceptions. Those government servants who are doctors or scientists, they can be considered for Padma Award. So MS Swaminathan was given Padma Vibhushan based on that thing only, because he was agricultural scientist. Apart from these two categories, no government servants are eligible for Padma Awards. So this also becomes incorrect, as it is asking that all government, or it's saying that all government servants are not eligible. So that becomes incorrect. So A is the correct answer. So the sixth question is, it talks about the different types of notices by Interpol. Different types of notices by Interpol and the relevant purposes for this, for which they are issued. So orange notice is issued if we talk about to seek or provide information on modus operandi, objects, devices and concealment methods used by criminals. This is purple notice. Orange notice is given for strict warning. So this becomes incorrect. It should be the purpose which is given is actually explaining the purple notice. This becomes incorrect. Red notice to seek the location and arrest of persons wanted for prosecution or to serve a sentence. This is correct. Blue notice to help locate missing persons, often minors, or to help identify who are unable to identify themselves. This is yellow notice. So this is also incorrect. So out of these three pairs, only one pair is correctly matched. So A is the correct answer. So it's all about the matching regions in news and countries where they are located. So consider the following pairs. Darfur. This is in Sudan. This is correctly matched. Catalonia. Catalonia is always in news because of this secessionist tendency, or they are autonomous region. They want secession from Spain. This is a region in Spain, not France. So this is incorrect. Kharkiv is Ukraine. This was in news, and this is in news because this is the second largest city in Ukraine. So this is also correct. Out of this, B is the correct answer, as only the second pair is incorrect. Rest two pairs are correctly matched. Now it talks about the Global Biofuel Alliance. So this question is, consider the following statements about the Global Biofuel Alliance. So it is a multi-stakeholder alliance of governments, international organizations and industries. This is a correct statement. It is an initiative by India at the G20 summit in New Delhi, which was held in 2023 in India. This is also correct. So there are two international, or you can say alliances, which are spearheaded or led by India. One is Global Biofuel Alliance, which has been recently launched. Another one is International Solar Alliance, which was launched in 2015, the COP21 in Paris. Apart from that, India has also launched International Big Cat Alliance, which tries to, you can say, comprehensively preserve and conserve the 7 big cats. So this is related with the Global Biofuel Alliance. So if you talk about biofuels, it includes ethanol as well as biodiesel. And there are various generations, like first generation, which are actually manufactured or synthesized from food sources, food crop sources. The second generation are synthesized from non-food crop sources like wood, like jatropha seeds, karanj seeds. Third generation biofuels are sourced from algae. And fourth generation biofuels are also sourced from algae, but those are genetically engineered algae. So as far as our target as per ethanol blending program is concerned, we have achieved up to 12% of ethanol blending. So out of the petrol, if 100 units of petrol is getting sold, then 12 units are mixed in the petrol itself. So that is ethanol. It's all about the blending of ethanol with petrol. So the target which is being set by the government of India is to reach 20% or E20 ethanol blending by 2025. Earlier the target was 20% ethanol blending by 2030, but the kind of revolution, the kind of, you can say, production of ethanol, and that too from non-food crop sources, not from sugar, or you can say sugarcane juices, rather using molasses, the byproducts of those sugarcane juices which are manufactured for sugar. What is left is being used for ethanol production. Apart from that, non-food crop sources are also being used. So we are going good, and Brazil, India, US are top 3, you can say, spearheading this movement, this Global Biofuel Alliance. It aims to position biofuel as a key to energy transition and contribute to jobs and economic growth. This is also correct. So all 3 statements are correct. So the 9th question is, the Sunairupai Wildlife Sanctuary recently seen in the news is located in which of the following states? It is Assam. It's in the foothills of Himalayas, so it is located in Assam. So the last question for today is again, you can say, match the following or pair based question. It again is places in news and the countries with which they are associated, or in which they are located. Consider the following pairs: places in news and countries. Dar es Salaam, this is in Tanzania, this is correct. Canoas, this is in Brazil, this is also correct. And Odessa, this is also correct. So all 3 pairs which have been given are correctly matched. So C would be the correct answer. So again a reminder that the Panch Sutra series is running and we are on the third test, Panch Sutra 3, which would be conducted on 18th of May. Apart from that, we will be having 2 more tests. So try to register yourself. It's free of cost. And try to simulate the real test environment with quality questions. Apart from that, we have 3 years integrated guidance program for IAS that would be pre-foundation level, from pre-foundation levels to the advanced levels. That would be comprehensively covering all the topics right from the basic NCERTs to the levels like economic service and all those things, to prepare those future civil servants to make sure that they have all the ingredients with them, and also trying to know about the various information that is important to crack the examination. Apart from that, we have also 2 years pre-foundation program for college and university students. So that would be again modeled from basic to advanced levels, and that would include all the relevant subjects which are important for civil services, including the prelims examination as well as mains examinations. At last, we have this prelims MCQ banks that would be including the bank of huge questions that is calibrated, carefully calibrated on the updated pattern of UPSC. Updated the way they ask questions, statement based questions, assertion reason based questions, that is well updated within the question bank. So this was all about today's session. Thank you for connecting with us. Thank you.